Good morning and welcome to Matt and Bra Outdoors. So today's video is a response to one of my viewers, When Grapes Pop. He watched my Mora Garberg review and he was kind of sat on the fence in terms of should he, shouldn't he. So I gave him an honest opinion. I think the Garberg is quite expensive for what it is. In many cases it's overkill, I believe. So he asked me what would I sort of suggest. So it's been sat in my house for ages. I bought it a while ago, I just never got around to reviewing it. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, this is probably the next best thing, or you know, a cheaper equivalent. So without further ado, this is the Mora Bushcraft. This is in bright orange. They do it in a couple of different colours. You can have it in black, they do it in khaki, black as well, I believe. So this is a stainless model. This is 3.2mm thick, so it is essentially the same as the Mora Garberg blade wise. So it's 109mm, so a shade over 4 inches. The only difference is between the Garberg and the Mora Bushcraft is obviously the Bushcraft isn't a full tang like the Garberg. It's one of those sort of stick tangs. So if I've done my homework right about now, you should be able to see just an inside view of one of these. Cool. So this is my Mora Bushcraft. A few key differences between this and the Mora Companion then. The most obvious one is going to be the handle. It is extremely ergonomic, it's very, very comfortable in the grip. It's got a nice little notch there just for your index finger to fit into. The back of the blade is ground, sort of 90 degrees, so you can use that for scraping your fire steel. It's exactly the same as the Garberg in terms of its edge, its blade length. Like I say, the only caveat is the stick tang. So how much are these? I paid 35 quid for this one. I can't remember where I got it from now. There's a few places in the UK you can get them. Don't expect to pay silly amounts for one of these. They do a version called the Mora Bushcraft Survivor, which the only key differences are there's a plastic overmold that goes over the sheath. There's a sharpening stone, and you also get a ferro rod or fire steel depending on where you're from. But we're looking at around £20 extra, which is probably a little bit expensive for what you actually get when you consider how cheap fire steels are. So they do that one. You also get the Bushcraft Black, which is the same as this, but it's carbon steel blade with a black finish on it. So those carbon enthusiasts out there, there's a model for you. Bear with me, I just got some notes to have a quick thumb through, make sure I've got everything right. There's another model of this called the Mora Bushcraft Forest. It's the same as this. The knife is ground. If you've ever seen a Mora can spole, it's got the same grind on it. So you've got a Scandi grind, and then you've got this sort of flat grind towards the tip of the knife. I'm personally sat on the fence with that one. I wouldn't want to go and buy one, I'm not too sure on that one. I like my edges quite simple and easy to look after. So the Mora Garberg is 272 grams, so it's not going to tip the scale, it's not going to cripple you or anything. The Mora Bushcraft, we're looking at about 125 grams, so it's half the weight. So 35 quid I think is quite reasonable for what you're getting. It's a step up from the Mora Companion. It's got that nice ergonomic handle. You've got your blade thickness, sharpened spine. The sheath is fine, got no complaints about that. There's a slight omission with the clip. You get two clips that come with the Mora Bushcraft, and they actually clip onto the sheath like that. You put them in and you pull them tight. You get an option, you get either a closed loop or you get an open loop. I went for the open loop, and it sort of rotates around. I've had a few people say that they've drop their knife, like the clips come off, so I don't know, your mileage may vary. I prefer to keep it simple, like the clipper shoe. So let's have a quick look at this down on the floor. I've got some dry wood, we'll just split that down for you. I'm sure this will make absolute mincemeat of it. We've all seen the Garberg before, and so if you want to see destruction videos, you've got Survival Lily. She does a really good version where she hammers on it with a rock and all that kind of jazz. I'm not going to do that, it's not my kind of channel. It's an expensive way to run a YouTube channel. So let's get down on the floor and have a quick look. So this is just some dry wood that I've snapped off of a branch. So this should go through quite easy. Got a feeling it'll probably just fall apart when I hit it. We've all seen splitting videos with Moras. We all know it can do extremely capably, but just for the purpose of the camera, straight through, no problem at all. This is dry wood. Just going through, no issues whatsoever, which we all knew was going to happen because it's a Mora. So obviously the extra blade thickness may or may not be a good thing depending on your requirements. Me personally, I'd rather have a little extra thickness in my steel. That's just me. Like I say, you've all seen the companion I've been using for God knows how long, and that's still going strong. So this, yeah, no problems there. In terms of its initial sharpness out of the box, just knock the camera, this is almost on par with the Garberg in terms of it's not quite as sharp as a clipper off the bat, which for me has been easily the sharpest. But having said that, we're not talking, you know, a lack of sharpness, it's just not quite on par. So this is all box fresh, this is all, well, relatively box fresh. I've used it a few times. So you're going to be able to shave. Probably easier if I put it down. So you can have a look. So this is, yeah, it's just sharp enough, isn't it? And we're getting some relatively fine little slivers there. No problems. So don't be put off by my comments about its initial sharpness. It's just an observation that compared to the clipper, this is ever so slightly not as sharp. So let's have a quick look at its fire steel striking capabilities on the floor. I'll just get me a little pile of twigs made up and we'll see if we can get a little fire lit with this thing. Right then, so we're on the floor then, we've got a small pile of twigs and that just to get going, and Vaseline and cotton wool, which we all know goes up extremely easy with sparks from just a cheap generic fire steel. A couple of pound this one, I didn't pay a lot, this isn't one of these like my fire ones. So let's have a go, shall we? There she goes. So quickly add some bits to the pile, and away we go. Only take a couple of strikes, probably would have just took one, everyone for my slightly cack-handed technique. Knife back in the sheath, nice and safe. Now we can just start adding some bits. Going through. So that was nice and easy. I've got to say, using the back of the knife to strike a fire steel is much easier than trying to use one of those fiddly little, these little sort of finger-length striker things. Much easier, much larger shower of sparks, much better chance of getting your fire going. So there we have it, ladies and gents, the Mora Bushcraft. It's fairly cheap, it's more effective than the companion, thicker steel, all the good stuff, and you don't need to shell out ridiculous amounts of money for the Garberg, when this, I think, is a better option at a much more sensible price. So I'm just going to have a little coffee, sit down. I've got another quick video to do on a torch that I picked up from Go Outdoors. Had some vouchers through for Christmas, so we're just going to have a little look at that in a minute. Once I've got my coffee up and running, we'll have a go. So I hope you found the video useful. My name's been Keith from Go Outdoors, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.